Hey, Di, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, now I can hear you. I couldn't hear you just before.
Oh, I've been chatting away to you. Hello, everybody jumping. Thanks for letting me know, Karen. So we've started the recording. You guys pop yourself on mute. Perfect. Thanks for letting me know, Karen. And yeah, let's get started. Round 2. Thanks for joining us, everybody. So I think this is week number 5 of the extra support webinar. And each week I just tune into what you guys need more of. So same drill as always. I'm down here on my business page, Diane McKendrick, life coach. I'm up here on the Zoom and all the people landing and registering with the Zoom, which is where you guys want to be as well. So Casey will drop it in above and you can click on it and you can get in, because once you're in, you can see the slideshow here that's in front of the computer. So it's a Zoom registration link. You just go in, pop your email in, and then it will take you through to here. So hello, everybody up there. I hope you can hear me. I just found out that I was on mute. The topic for today, so literally what I do is I listen to all of you guys, and move that down a bit. I listen to all of you guys and I hear what you need through the clients, through the extra coaching that I do. I just ask myself, what's going to be really valuable for you this week? How can I support you? How can I serve you? How can I get more of this information to you? And this is the way that I've decided to do it. So you'll see now I'm a lot more calm and relaxed than I was the first week, because the first week where you've got several devices running, looking at you from all different angles, you're hearing your voice from all different angles. It can be quite daunting and a little bit scary. But week number 5, first week I was petrified, I was scared. This week I've had a massage this morning, so I'm kind of like so relaxed. And yeah, this is all about supporting you guys. What can I give more of to you? And just listening, really listening deeply, more so not even what you do tell me. It's not just what you say, it's also what you don't say. So these opportunities, I'll do this for another couple of weeks, because it's really important to me to reach out to you and get you all the information, get you all the goodness, all the goodies that I know. So if you are an entrepreneur or a life coach and you're wanting to run extra support or set it up similarly, however I say that word, to the way that I have, and go out live several places at once, please reach out. I'll show you how to do it, because for me, this is a time of like complete service, really. And that's why I made this week the topic about speaking. Speaking is one of the most profitable skills on earth, and you all have access to it all day, every single day. What happens, as we're going to go through in a little bit, is people get scared, they don't know how, they're not sure about their message. And I thought, how can I help even more people? One of my primary questions, how can I help even more people? Well, I can reach out to you guys that are already doing amazing things and perhaps don't know how to deliver it, or how to package it, or how to say it, because there's fear there, or someone's given you a hard time in the past, or you've got this belief system in your head that I'm not good and I can't speak. So that's what I'm here, because you all know my background. Well, most of you guys know my background now. You've been working with me for a little while. I'm going to move you guys up here so I can see. Yeah, such a shy, timid little thing that couldn't even go and order a coffee. Now I'm on stages all over the world. And during these times, it's just had to change. Like, I had to pivot and I had to get online and practice the online delivery, practice how I can still get you the information, how I can still light you up, how I can really ignite you from a place of online, which takes a lot of adapting and changing. And you've all got that ability too. So it's really beautiful to see you all on here. I also have on a what night is that? It's on my days are all mixed up. On a Tuesday night, I have extra support for my VIP clients, and I'm going to do that for another couple of weeks as well. So if you're working quite closely with me, and if you're engaged in all my posts and you're loving what I'm doing, reach out to me personally through a personal message, and we can talk to you about how we can put you in there for now to get that extra coaching. It is so valuable. The ladies that were on this week just, oh my gosh, had absolutely mind-blowing results. So definitely think about that. Speak to me about that, how I can help you more. We leverage on the community and we all help each other. Like, I'm a very big community person. A lot of my why is about bringing community together, getting the community to support each other. So then it's not about me. Like, a lot of business people, a lot of entrepreneurs, and if you do this, this is fine. It's just not the way I'm doing it, and I'm not judging it the way other people do it. But business for me is about the community, and it's not about me. I might be the bloody face on the book, or the one on the Facebook or whatever, but it's about bringing everyone together and empowering leaders all through the community to bring their little groups together and bring their little groups together and bring their little groups together. And then we're one big happy family. And yeah, like I said, it's not about me and just empowering me. It's about me stepping out of my comfort zone to empower you to step out of your comfort zone as well. So that's how I show up. To be quite clear, it is also my business. I do monetize it. I do have quite a healthy income from it, but this is my dream. And something that I've noticed recently is it started off as a hobby, and I used to feel bad for charging people, or I'd really worry that what I had to share with people wasn't valuable enough, and what are they going to think of me if I charge for it? And it's just been in the last couple of days when I've had so many people reach out to me saying, what you're doing is life-changing for me. I feel like I've still got some of my lunch on my face. What you've done is life-changing for me and is actually no price that you can put on it. So for example, I ran a 4-week mastermind, 4 weeks to freedom. I got feedback from everybody. I sat with them, and more than one person said, Di, it was $800, which when I first decided, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. Are people going to pay me that? Do they value what I do? And I'm sharing this part of the story, guys, because you might be feeling and thinking like this. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're thinking about getting out there and helping people, oh my gosh, what are they going to think? And more than one person come back and said, Di, I got $800. If you put yourself and throw yourself into it, the very first week I made my money back. Because if you do what I tell you to do, and the only reason that you wouldn't is usually because of fear, and the beautiful thing about that is I have a process that can take it away, yeah, you'll be able to create the life of your dreams as well. So let's get into it. Hello, all the people up here. Haley's jumped on, Tan, Daniel, Lucia, everybody here. I can't see you all. There's so many, and everybody here as well. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So let's go to the next slideshow. I feel like every time my computer's different. Hey, I press the same button, something different happens. All right, just like that. See, I just manifested it. How do I go back now? It's going the wrong way. It's got a mind of its own. Let's go back to page here. Maybe this will be the fast way to do it. Okay, so time to shine, guys. It is absolutely your time to shine. There is a lot of shit going down there in the world, and you do not have to be a speaker or a life coach to be able to get value from this information. We all have a life story and a message that can inspire others to live a better life or run a better business. Why not use that story and that message to serve others and grow a business doing it? So this could be your job. You could be inspiring other people and getting paid for it, teaching other people to speak. Like I said, out there in the community, there's all these people around. If I teach you to speak, you can lead these people. Now, you don't have to run it as a business. Obviously, I'm a business person and an entrepreneur. And with that, for me, comes a freedom. I'm on my soul purpose, which we go through the mastermind, the mastermind that I'm running. But for you, it may just be with you're a leader in your community, or you're a leader in your family, or you've got to have meetings at school. If you can communicate, if you can speak, if you can package and deliver your thoughts and feelings, you're going to have such an easier life. You're going to have better relationships. You're going to make more income because you're clear with what you want. You are going to, your life will just open up. And not enough people, they just think of it as a polarity, right? They're like, I don't want to be a speaker or a coach, so I don't really need to learn how to communicate. I'm telling you, this is the most profitable and most profound skill you will ever learn. And that's exactly what it is. Speaking and communication is a skill. Just like you do your bloody bicep curls in the gym to build this muscle, we do practice on how to deliver and how to communicate. So I'm going to take you through really quickly today a few of the things that I do, a few of the misconceptions, in hope that it inspires you, it sparks in something inside of you to do it a little bit differently, to give it a go, to try something that might scare you a little bit but could actually help somebody else. So you all have a story. you can share it, and you're going to be able to help someone. When you get out of your own way and believe in yourself and have self-worth and self-value, that what you're currently doing that you don't even think about is valuable, you're going to be able to help someone else. And this is what I want to make. We've got to simplify life in these days because of what's going on out there. You really need to fill your own cup and look after yourself. But instead of just going completely into self-preservation mode and like, oh my God, this is, well, you all know my husband Gus is an international airline pilot for Virgin. And you all just heard what happened to Virgin. And it's so funny, right? Like I was watching the CEO, who's an incredible man and an amazing speaker, and I hadn't heard much about him, but he spoke on Facebook Live in front of 5,000 of the pilots and their families. And I was obviously listening to the content, but I was just like completely studying how he spoke, the words that he used, because words and the way that you speak evoke emotion, right? And when you understand that, and people wonder why I'm such a good speaker and I'm so captivating, it's because I've literally studied for years. This is my passion. Even from a little kid, I used to watch my teacher. I didn't really give a shit what she was talking about or what he was talking about, but I just was totally obsessed with how they delivered it and how I felt when they said certain words. So from a really young age, I remember watching them and they'd ask me like, what's the answer? And I was like, I don't know. I was just watching how you moved your hand and how you moved your body. And, you know, when I go and watch Tony Robbins, he is such an avid speaker that what he says is like hypnotizing and it gets into your head. And he hypnotizes you in hypnotic language, so it is going in, but I just watch his every move. I watch where his eyes move. I watch how he moves his hands. I watch when the people laugh and when the people don't laugh, and when he's on the stage where he says something funny and he anchors stuff into the like, it's phenomenal. And you can tell I get really passionate about it. And don't get me wrong, you don't all have to go to this level. I just want you to start implementing it in your everyday life, in your family life, with your partner, with your kids, and then one other person. So, or if you live on your own and you're single, whoever you live with or whoever you have close connection with, the coffee person, start saying different words, start changing the way your facial expressions move, and just try something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone. I promise you, it will totally open up your life. So I've worked out how to do this now. So why speaking? People, well, why don't people do more of it? One of the biggest things I get in all my masterminds, hey Roxy, good to see you, in my masterminds, in the people that come and see me and I work with, the entrepreneurs, the coaches of the coaches, the speakers. I have a lot of speakers come to me now for life coaching, and then vice versa. People coming to me for life coaching to get on the stage and speak, which is really powerful. So I see it from all ends of the spectrum. So why don't people do it? The biggest thing people that you'll be thinking is someone might disagree with me. People may not resonate with me, or what if they judge me? And there's this whole internal dialogue going on. And really what it's about is you making it about yourself. And what if someone says something, or what if I upset someone? And you know what? Just accept it. If you become a speaker and you really speak your truth, you can say it with love. Eventually someone's going to be upset. But what we do through the mastermind is I teach you how to neutralize that feeling. And if you're speaking from a place of truth and love, even if somebody else is triggered by it, you can go back in and look at what you said and how it was delivered and dissect it. This is what I do, and pull it apart and say, okay, was I in alignment with that? Or maybe I was out. If I'm triggered by what they've said to me, then I need to dissect it, pull it apart. Where was I out of alignment? And then I thank that person. I say, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity and showing me where I was disempowered in my speaking or in my life. So once you get on stage, I feel like people feel like this is how I used to feel. Now you're up there, people can throw rocks at you and people can criticize you and judge you. And it will happen. Don't get me wrong, that's definitely a part of speaking your truth, but the processes we do through the mastermind help reduce the charge on that. I can almost guarantee if you're not getting up there, whether it's just in your family, your community, or on stage, if you have a longing and a yearning to get up and do what I do, is because you're worried someone's going to disagree with you and you're going to upset someone. So we need to go deeper. We don't have time on the call for that today, but that's what we do through the mastermind. Go deeper, deeper, deeper. Pull it out, dissect it, neutralize it. So when you get up there, you can hold such a presence and such a grounding and such a truth within yourself that people don't waver. And if someone does come to you, then you just deal with it. It's not stopping you, right? The other thing that you need to realize is you do this better than I do. A lot of people look at me in the way I speak and captivate the audience and move the audience and like touch their heart. you do that better than I do. Everything that you see in me when I speak and everything that perhaps you admire or don't like is a reflection of you. So what I always do is make a point of when I'm meeting someone, when I'm working someone, is to pick out their most freaking incredible, amazing, beautiful, shiny, light things within them. And I just adore them and I love it and it's really wholesome. And then I come back around and go, oh, that's all a reflection of me. If I'm sitting here judging a speaker going, oh, you're boring, or you said this or you said that, then I'm judging those parts of myself. So just remember, you do this better than me. Don't pedestal me or any of the speakers out there, because we all had to start somewhere. And this could be the start for you. Hopefully I'm just going to plant a little seed. I know a lot of you are sitting on the fence right now. I think I saw Sammy jump on you. She's got her first meetup soon. So maybe share that on the Rise Up page, Sammy, so everyone can come to your online meetup and support you. And just know, guys, a lot of the time a speaker gets up on stage anyway. Obviously, I'm likening a lot to stage because this is my journey. They're usually a little bit nervous as well. Like, we can neutralize it, but it's a bit like a race, because you all know I'm a swimmer. Like, there's a few excitement nerves that come up that you use for the performance. So it's rare that a speaker gets up there and has no little butterflies in their tummy. So let's not judge them. Let's really just hold them in their power, because one day it could be you up there. And do you want an audience of judges and people that are ready to throw tomatoes at you and rocks? Or do you want, even if you slip up, even if you make a mistake, because it's an opportunity? Thanks for the love, all the girls and boys up here. Do you want an audience of people that are throwing tomatoes and rocks at you? Or do you want an audience that are grounded in your presence and are holding you through the moments where you might need to be held through, because you're up and you're shining? And yeah, it's a very vulnerable place to be. So it's super exciting. Remember, you do it better than I do. You do you, I'll do me. And if we can all do that, it'll be a much more harmonious place to live. Hey, Renee Claire's just jumped on too. I had visions of you speaking with someone this morning. I'm going to tell you about that later. Okay, so pivot and don't make how you feel wrong. When you're up in front of a lot of people, there is so much happening in your head. Don't make it feel wrong. Don't make it feel bad. Just recognize it. If there's some yucky feelings that come with it, you want to take it and dissect it and pull it apart and ask yourself, where am I not in alignment? If it feels yucky, then you're sharing something that either you're not doing, you don't believe in, you've heard from somebody else and made it yours, but it's not. And I've done this and I still do it, because guess what, everyone? I'm human too. And it will come up and it will be reflected into me by somebody, or I'll just get that icky feeling in my tummy and I was like, oh, I need to do a bit more work on that. Don't make it wrong. Don't make it bad. Don't make it naughty. Let's just make it a learning curve. And like I said, I'm talking about and likening a lot of this to being on stage, but your stage might be something different. Your stage might be the head of the family and speaking to your husband and wife and your children and the delivery and the package of that. Your stage might be at work. Even if you're not the bloody CEO or the top of the rung, you hold a really important space when you go to your job and your work. Your energy, your essence, the way you deliver it, is it being delivered with an edge and a spike, or are you coming with it from love and looking at the best interest from everybody? And when you do this and do these couple of tips that I'm going to speak to you about, people will be magnetized to you, and you will go from this mindset of nobody wants, this was me, guys, for years. Nobody wants to listen to me. I got nothing valuable to share. And even if I did, I couldn't say it anyway, because I failed English. I have a really limited vocabulary and I just don't know how to do it. So that's what I was thinking for so long. And guess what? Some days I still bloody well think that, and I catch the thought and I reframe it and I twist it to something more resourceful, and I bloody well get up there and do it anyway, like all of you will. And stage is one thing, but you've got different stages of your life. You've got the stage at home, you've got the stage at school, you've got the stage at kinder, you've got the stage in every different areas of your life. So you need to sort of, what I do is dissect it and think about and break it down. We do this in a spreadsheet through the mastermind of how your communication, how do you want to deliver it in, because I speak differently when I'm on stage to when I'm talking to my family or talking to my friends. So you need to be really clear about who you are in here, but also what you want to deliver and what you want to share from the different spaces. So we need to get clear about that. Now, each and every single one of you have so much to share. Despite the belief system that I don't know much, people aren't going to listen. Doesn't everybody know that? A lot of entrepreneurs come to me. A lot of entrepreneurs come and they say, but doesn't everyone know that? And I do it too, and I did it for years. And then I remembered, and I said this on my live this morning, if there was a time, my husband was the one that pointed it out to me. He said, Di, there was a time you didn't know that. And if you didn't read that book, because I've been so committed to a growth mindset in terms of reading books, attending seminars, listening to online courses, and then creating all my own from everything that I've taught, none of that information is really mine. It's out there in the ethos for people to grab and put some salt and pepper and herbs and spices on and deliver it back in your own way. So Gus said to me one day when I was going through this block and this challenge, he said, well, remember back to the day that you didn't know that. And if you hadn't read it in that book or heard it at that seminar or heard it on that online course, you still wouldn't know it. So every single thing that comes into your head that you want to share, there is someone out there craving it. There is someone out there needing it. And I'm saying that to all of you right now. And quite often it is the most simple, easy things. We complicate it. We want to, our ego wants everyone to pat us on the back and go, oh my gosh, that was amazing. But what our souls need and what our friends and our followers and our family needs is they need the super simple, easy things that you do that you don't even know that you do. So I'm going to go through a little process in a minute, but basically what you've got to do is think about, what do I do really well that I don't even know that I do? What do my friends come to me and ask me about? So when I went through this process, people used to always come to me because I was trying to uncover my soul desire and what am I put on this earth for? And I was pulling my hair out and it was such a trying time in my life. And I just was like, people would always come to me, ask me about health and mindset. This is long before I was a coach or a personal trainer. And they would always ask me about growth stuff. And I was like, okay, well then that's a sign. What people are coming to ask you about is what you do well without realizing it. But like our brain likes a checkbox, it likes to give us a 10 out of 10 or know that we did crap and we need to improve. It's the things, honestly, that you wake up that you're unconsciously competent of. You just wake up and you do it. Celebration's a really good one. Renee and I were having a chat earlier this week, going through something similar, and her mentor had said to her, I saw your post on it, Renee, so I know it's fine for me to share this. How do you celebrate? What do you do to celebrate? And then you go into your brain, it's like, oh, I don't know. But she realized she become consciously competent at it, unconsciously competent when you're doing it every single day. And that's what I said. My celebrations, my milestones, I said every single morning when I get out of bed and I feel the health and the strength and the flexibility of my body and I put my feet on that ground, I have gratitude. I have a celebration. I dance around the kitchen most days. It changes and it grows and evolves with you. So that could be a piece of content. How do you say you're celebrating every day? You didn't realize it. You take that and you deliver it in a way to somebody who may have never have heard it. So there's 3 different things when I talk and do my lives. We speak to the person who has never heard of what we do and we change our language to that. We speak to the person who's sitting on the edge and heard a little bit about stuff and you use different language again for them. And then we speak to the coaches. And if you watch me and dissect what I do, you'll see it. And I'm going to teach you all through the mastermind how to do it. And then we have the people that are quite in depth, and I've positioned myself as the expert in the speaking world. So speakers now come to me and say, teach me to speak, show me what you do. So I'd speak to them very differently to someone over here who don't even know that they have, like, speaking is a thing, that they just wake up and do, they go about their life. I'd speak to this person very differently to this person. So as we go through the process with you, if it's something you want to think more about, we break it down, we dissect it, and we can set you up with that. So it is now time for each and every single one of you to share from your heart and make it about helping someone. Stop making it about yourself and your fear or you not being good enough. There is someone out there right now that needs you to share what you do well and what you enjoy. So stop making it about what someone might think or someone might judge me, and do it for that person. Because like I said, if I hadn't read that book, if I hadn't been to that seminar, if I hadn't done that online course, I wouldn't be imparting this knowledge to all of you guys. So make it about someone else. The same as my book. This book was like 40 years in the making. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to write a book. The belief system that was running was only famous people write book. I write a book. I can't spell. I'm not a very good writer. I've got a lot to share, but I don't know how to package it and deliver it. I don't know what to do. It was all, who's that all about? That's about me and my fear. I made it all about me and me and me and me. And once again, my beautiful husband again was like, but what if what you've got and you put it into a book could help another family? What if what you would put into that book could support another mother going through what you've just been through, or another human? And I was like, right, boom, 4 months, 2 kids, fly in, fly out partner. 4 months I had this. I was in my hands, published, signing it. I'm going for Amazon bestseller next Wednesday. You'll see all the posts come out. This is on in manifestation of getting the Amazon bestseller. So next Wednesday morning, you'll see the post come out. We'll drop the price of the book to 99 cents. You're all going to rush and flock and get your 99-cent Kindle book and help me become bestseller. How cool is that? Never thought that would happen like last year when I was making it about me, being too scared to write the book. So you've all got that. You've all got something right now that you're not doing because you're being a selfish mother and making it about yourself. So write it down. If you're taking notes, I see a lot of you taking notes. What are you making about yourself that if you made it about the person that you could help, you would take action immediately? Oh, I had goosebumps. You would take inspired action freaking yesterday. You're not going to be sitting around procrastinating. However, if you are sitting around procrastinating, I do have a method for that as well in the mastermind. We go through the paradox resolver, the procrastination buster, all of the thing in the mastermind. You're going to get that in coming months. But yeah, what is it, guys? What is it? Pick something right now and share it on the Rise and Shine meetup page or on my personal page. This is what I took action on. If I was watching this and taking notes, first of all, I would have moved from up there to over here. You can jump on my personal page and you'll see the link, so you can come over and see the slideshow, so you could see what was happening here, guys. Come. And I would get on and I would write a note and say, jump onto Di's page and share this, because that's going to hold you accountable. And then what happens, guys? Semi jumps on there. Semi from Perth. I did this. This is the action that I took. And then Gita sees it and she's like, oh, freaking Semi did it. I can do it too. Then Karen's like, oh, I've been feeling a little bit unsure, but Semi did it. Gita did it. Kayla's doing it. This person's doing it. Well, I'm going to do it too, because no longer are you the one just out there on your own. So this is why the community, and you cultivating your own community in your pocket of the world, wherever you are, whether it's in the school playground, the kindy playground, wherever the bloody hell you are, let's cultivate conscious, caring, loving communities that have really good conversations and connection and communication. So you've got to do it. Pick something right now that you are making about yourself. I'm scared. I can't do it. I bloody don't know how. I know all this really well, guys, because I still go into it. I still have coaches. I'm working quite closely with Renee now. She's helping me with some stuff. I'm helping her with some stuff. Renee Claire from the Gold Coast, you guys are all got to look her up. I'm speaking on her mastermind tonight. So she's helping me out because I still go through these patterns. But we're so aware of it and we know that it's holding us back, but it's also a real gift. So I want you to choose that now. What is it? You have all got something there right now that you've been too scared, too something to do. I want you to write it down, share it on the page, and tell us the action that you are going to take. Or I'll be checking in on you guys too. Okay, next page. Slide 4. So your voice is the most profitable skill on earth. So many people are going out there and they go to a job or they try to make the money. The way you can change someone's life by what you've got to say and deliver is the most powerful thing on this earth. Your social leadership and your influence, whether it's in the family unit, in the community, at school or kindy, at work, on stage, is so powerful. And because we're unconsciously competent at it, we all speak, we forget how important it is. We forget how profound and what a gold nugget our throat and our voice box is. It is when you start to study the voice box and how it delivers and how it's a muscle and how it works, and you can take it high and you can take it low. It's absolutely phenomenal. So that's all a bit too deep for this session. We do that in the mastermind, and I teach you, and I have someone come in and speak to you directly about how to use tonalities, how to use your posture, how to use the muscles and train the muscles to deliver in a certain way. So that's pretty cool. I can't wait for Speaking Month. It's one of my favorite things. It can give hope, like you can create whole communities with hope and expectation, inspiration, or you can completely rip someone to shreds, or someone can rip you to shreds and have them crumble and fall down on the floor just by the words that you say. So knowing the power of this, you have a choice to make. Are you going to use your voice? Are you going to use your words and your communication to help people and build conscious communities, or are you going to rip shit out of people and criticize and judge? Because all that comes out of your mouth is you're creating your reality. So you want to keep a real close eye on the words that are coming out here, and just touching again on the things that we're unconsciously competent at. We all wake up, most of us, unless it's an exception to the rule, which there always is, and we speak all day, every day. But we don't understand the power because it's just something we've been gifted and given. I can tell you right now, if you wake up every morning and have immense gratitude for your voice box and your communication, and really pinpoint and focus in on how valuable the words that are coming out of your mouth are and can be, and that they can create empires and they can destruct empires just by the words that you say, you will have a profound impact on your personal life and your community. So think of that next time. And tomorrow when you wake up in the morning, think about this voice, think about this thing speaking that we all do all day, every day. But how often, like our feet, right? How often do you stop and think about how bloody amazing your feet are? They hold you up, they walk you around all day. We treat them like shit. We shove them in stinky shoes and socks, and we don't thank our feet that often. You want to go and you want to give your feet a little pat and a little rub and say, thank you, feet, for walking me around for the last 40 freaking years. Thank you for everything that you do for me, and standing up. And, you know, we've got to have this immense gratitude for the things that are already here for us, instead of always chasing something in the future, always chasing getting up there on stage, or always chasing the next big accomplishment. You got to feel it right now, and you have it right now. You have your body, you have your feet, you have your voice box, you have the words. Work with that, have immense gratitude for it, and frickin' get out there and share it. I'm coming down hard on you now. Okay, so the mastery of speaking. We need to make it simple. Once again, the human brain, we like to complicate things because the ego wants you to go, oh, you did such a great job. It'll either tell you did shit or you did great. There's no real grey area with the ego. You're so shit, you did no good. We complicate it so much so we can go, oh my gosh, you just nailed that, and it was so complicated and it was so good, and then we pedestal ourselves, and that's just as bad or just as harmful to your growth as saying that you're shit and you're no good and you can't do it. Pedestaling yourself and going to the other side of the spectrum is as like holding back as both of them. So we want to find this middle ground and we want to share it. So simplify it. Say the simple words, simplify your message, and the easier and more simple with the less words and more succinct that you can make your delivery, the better. We're trying to make it too hard. We're trying to think about it too much. We've got to tune into something higher than ourselves that's coming down, or something from within, and then we deliver from there. So a very confident speaker help people build business and create communities. So make the commitment for yourself. What is it that you want? Do you want to be on stage, you know, up next to me, or doing your own thing, or with somebody else that you've seen on stage? Do you want to be on the bloody chair board at the school committee? Not me. Don't pick me for that job, please. I would fail miserably. Is it the place in the family unit that you want to be able to deliver and speak from? Whatever, you just need to choose what do you want to do and where do you want to sort of feel really solid in, and then we can help you make it happen. So my intention in the next little bit of this call is to help you find your message, because you've all got one and it's in you right now. We try and complicate it and then we make it too hard, and it's like, oh, it's too hard, I'm not going to do that. And then you go back to just doing what is comfortable, and we forget about it until I do another call like this, or I give you a little poke, I poke your boundaries, or you might see another woman out there doing really amazing, go, what's she doing? Why is she up there? And then that might be the little poke that you need, but it could be you. If you wanted to be up there and you were doing what she was doing, it could be you up there. If you went to her and said, congratulations, I'm cheering for you, you're amazing, I want to be able to do what you're doing. What's your 3 biggest takeaways? What have you learned? What can you know, and you can all help each other doing that. So I want to help you. I want to help you find your message. I want to help elevate you. And that's a very different way to doing business too, because prior to this type of work, I was in the corporate world, you know, and I was an athlete, you know, both very competitive industries. So I would dominate. You will watch my face change. My eyes will narrow if I talk about competition, and I will dominate, but it's not fulfilling. I'll win the race at all costs, but it's not fulfilling. For me now is just as like heartwarming and exciting and celebration, maybe even more for me, to see somebody else elevate and really kick some goals, and for me to be bubbling under the surface, poking the buttons, pushing the buttons, and supporting you to do that, to you to get up on that stage or whatever it is for you, than it is for me. It's one thing for me to be up there, but I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, when my friends and my clients get up there and kick ass, it's like, it's even more heartwarming feeling for me. That's not competition, that's collaboration. And that's a different realm of business. If you're in business, what we do is called sacred business, and it's about collaboration. It's not competition and criticism anymore, which is the paradigm I grew up in, coming from the sporting world and the corporate world. What we're about is true conscious collaboration, genuinely helping each other out because you want to see someone else succeed. And with their success, you get the feeling of that as well. It's a vibration, right? So if they're succeeding genuinely, and if you get a bit of a yucky feeling in your tummy, go and dissect it. Why do I feel? Oh, because she was prepared to do what I wasn't. So I'm actually being hard on myself, not her. It's got nothing to do with her. Be inspired. Just be excited for her and be inspired by her. Don't compare yourself and put you down. Just make a commitment to help somebody, lift each other up, and before long, you'll just wake up one day and you'll be there. No drama, no carry on, and you'll be exactly where you want to be. Okay, cool. So guess what? It takes practice. When I first started speaking, I cringed. I listened to myself. On a recording. Now I've got hundreds of recordings on this bloody laptop that I've hidden away and hope no one ever comes across, because I had to practice. And when you first hear your voice through a device, it's a little bit different now because it's a lot more accessible in terms of lives and talking to people and doing the thing. But as I was growing up and moving into this space, it was like first time I heard my voice was cringeworthy. I was like, oh my gosh, is that what I really sound like? Because the vibration changes, right? As you're talking, what I'm hearing in my head is very different to what you're hearing. And I was like, oh, I'm so ochre. Oh my gosh, my words. And you know what I get now? People ask me if I've had proper speaker training, because I come across, so I think the words people have used are like poised, graceful, and polished. I'd never use those words to describe myself, by the way. And I'm like, nah, mate, I've had no speaker training, but something comes over me because I've practiced and I've practiced and I have practiced to fine tune it so it becomes unconsciously competent. Now, when I'm up speaking in front of people, I don't have to think about finishing my words. And the other thing is I just make it me. I just let it be me. So your voice sounds different when you play it back. So you've got to get used to it. So you're not getting shocked. Your cells aren't going into like every time you hear yourself. You'll look different as well. So now we do a lot online. And if you see yourself on stage or on computer, especially when you've got several computers set up, you see yourself from angles that you're not used to see yourself from. And quite often when you look in the mirror, you'll look at an angle that looks safe and comfortable to you and look at your good side and just subconsciously avoid what you think is not your good side. So you have to get really comfortable with seeing yourself from all angles, particularly if you're on stage, because you're going to get photos taken from you from all angles. Flattering and not so flattering. Some of the photos I've seen from myself up there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to work on that booty, girlfriend. Nah, just kidding. It doesn't matter. You just got to be comfortable with the angles and really notice. It's not such a big thing now because of everybody is seeing themselves on Zoom and stuff. But if you want to start doing online things, you just got to get comfortable with it. If you don't have an inspiring message, you will never speak. But my belief is, you've all got one. You just don't all know what it is. And it's my job to help elicit it, help bring it out in you so you can listen to other people, see what lights you up, see where you just kind of like, no, that's me, that's not me, and just take it step by step so you have a really succinct and powerful message. And I feel like this is something for me I've gotten closer to, but I still haven't quite nailed it. So yeah, like I said earlier, hundreds of practice videos that you never saw, talking into the mirror, talking in the shower. I don't know if you've heard this story, but I did some voice training at the beginning of, I think it was last year, and my head was like, where am I going to have time to practice like at least half an hour of tonalities, facial expressions, all the thing that they were teaching us. So I did it when I read the kids' books at night. They didn't know I was doing it, but I thought, well, I thought that was really clever. So if you are passionate about it, if you want to do this, you will find a way. I now do my voice exercises in that car. If you're listening to my voice now, it's only very discreet, but it's starting to get dry and raspy, and it's because I'm not breathing properly, because sometimes when I do these things, I get a bit nervous. If I was start to breathe properly, when you speak, you usually breathe through your nose. So practicing breathing through your nose as you speak, it's crazy because most of us are mouth breathers, but if you're talking, it's going to dry out your throat and you get that little raspy, because I can actually feel it as I'm talking to you. But anyway, that's all part of the mastermind. We go deeper into that, but find a way and make a place to practice. Car, bedtime stories, talking to your partner, if you're having a debrief, which you should all be having at the end of every night, just to see how you're going, how you can support each other, what you did well, what you need improvement on. Very powerful. Practice, practice. Okay, so let's quickly, before we finish up, let's help you to get 3 steps to pinpoint your message, because I could teach you all the tips and tricks on how to speak, how to deliver, how to be captivating, all the thing. But if you don't know what your message is, you'll be fluttering and floundering and have no idea. However, I still haven't nailed it, but you will still see I get up on stages, because part of getting up before you're ready, it's grown with me. I've discovered it. The first couple of times I got up at Natasha Denman has me speak for her, the book. I'm a book mentor, helping people through the fear process. And obviously work quite closely with Francesca Moy. She has me come in and talk to the Marfians quite regularly. What I was finding is I had no idea every time I got up there, but every single time I got up there, I got a little bit closer to what my message was. Because as you talk up there, something higher comes over you, and just a little bit closer and a little bit closer and a little bit closer. So do not ever, if anyone ever offers you an opportunity to stand on stage and speak, whether you are, what you look like, how you feel, just get up there and practice it. It is such a beautiful opportunity to just start to get closer and closer. And there ain't nothing like being out in front of 50, 100 people talking about, if you're talking about something you're passionate about, which you usually would, your messages will come through. So it's really important. So here, you've got to identify it. You've got to be crystal clear about what the message is or how you want people to feel after you've talked. So when I used to first get up, one of my first talks were in front of I think it was about 56 people, and Natasha Denman and Francesca were together. They were running a masterclass, and they called me on the way home from the first day, and they said, Di, will you talk first up tomorrow, motivational, blah, blah, blah. And I just was shitting my pants. And of course I smiled. I was like, yeah, of course. And I got off the phone. I was like, oh my gosh, my 2 mentors, this is before I knew them really well. And I'd had them totally pedestal. I was like, oh my gosh, they want me to speak. I've got to nail it. It's got to be so good. And then something higher come over me. And it was like I'm going to have to go home. It was already 8 o'clock at night. I had to be back there by 7 or 8 in the morning. And I thought to myself, how am I going to even deliver it? How am I going to have time to type something else? Because this is what a lot of you are going to want to go type your little thing up, and you want to memorize it, and you're spending hours doing it. It doesn't work. So I was like, okay, this is not going to work. What do I have to do? So I sat there and I basically come up with an intention, and I meditated on that intention that night. When I woke up, anytime I got nervous, it was good because I didn't have a lot of time to get nervous, just from 8 o'clock that night till 10 o'clock the next day when they asked me to speak. And I did all my tapping, all the things that I teach you guys all the time. I sat in my pyramid and I was like, okay, my intention for this delivery and this time with these people is for my higher self to connect with their higher self and offer some sort of wisdom. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. My higher self to connect to their higher self and to move them in some way, to have them start thinking differently about their life. And when I did that, I actually got up there, And I shared a little bit of the story, and I said to them, can everyone please close their eyes for a moment? I took them through a meditation, mainly because I was just like so nervous. Because when you stand on stage, you have a lot of power. Like you're controlling pretty much that, and not controlling, containing the whole room. So if you feel like you need a meditation, this happened also at Inspiring Minds. It was the first time I'm thinking, Natasha and Francesca do it. It's the next step up, you know. I'm going to use a slideshow on a stage up in front of 100 people the first time. I get up there and the bloody thing didn't work. I hadn't tested it beforehand. So the voice in my head was like, you idiot, why didn't you test it? You should have tested it. And I got up there and I was going through the process, the first time ever that I delivered with a slideshow, and it was just massively failed. However, I was taking people through 8 tips. And one of those tips was, and my brain was like, don't do it because you don't know it off by heart. It was up there, you were relying on it. And so what I did was like, what's the first tip? Tapping. Okay, everybody, we need to tap. So I made them all tap. And it wasn't just them tapping and giving them information and how to do it. It was helping me calm down. And I started saying on stage, even though I forgot to do that, I deeply and profoundly accept myself. So I went through that process with them. So just remember that you up there, you can pivot, you can change, you can move, but my intention, and you need an intention even more so than your message, my higher self to connect with their higher self and move them in some way that's sort of up to them. So in discovering your message as well, what do you do well? Say to yourself, what do I do well? And what do people come and ask me about? If you've got friends coming and asking about, you know, what you put in your hair all the time, or what kind of clothes do you wear, then you do clothes well and you probably do hair well. If you're getting 5, 6, 7 friends come to you and go, oh my gosh, I noticed, whatever it is, just what do people come and ask you about? Because that's going to give you a huge clue as to what it is that you're doing well that you don't even know that you're doing well. And if you were speaking to yourself, this is really powerful. If you were speaking to yourself 5 or 10 years ago, what would be the wisdom? What would be the 3 most important things you would tell yourself 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? That would help someone who's in the position that that woman was back then. So you know enough about to deliver it. You can package it and just speak it like you're speaking to that woman. So I think everybody should do that. If you were speaking to yourself 5 years ago, what would be 3 pieces of wisdom that you would impart to yourself? Because you have 3 pieces of content right there. And if we're not making it about ourselves anymore and our fear and that I don't speak well and I don't look the part and blah, 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 that you could help that woman. You imagine yourself 5 years ago, and most of us 5, 10 years ago, we were in a void. We're in a space where we had a lot of pain and we didn't know unless we were on this journey until that one brave person, and you will remember them because everyone has one, stood up and said this, 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 or this, and then that was the start of your journey. Each and every single one of you have the power to be that for someone. It's time to get out of your own way and get out there and keep delivering, even when it's not perfect. Like I said, I've got bloody hundreds of things. You look back at my lives when I first started, I was like bloody picking my nose and scratching my head and looking around, and it was so boring. But if I hadn't done that part, I couldn't get on here and deliver for an hour, even though I only gave myself half an hour. I'm breaking my own rules because I want to get this information out to you guys. And then the other thing is, what did you love to do as a kid? Talk about that, because you will be lit up by it, and you can practice. If you're talking and you want to be animated, imagine you talking to a kid, or imagine you're a kid talking to an adult. Imagine being 5 years old again when you didn't give a flying friggin' F what people thought of you and how animated you were and how you would move your body. And I do that all the time, because if you want to be up on stage, well, for me with Esme, even on the days that I was feeling, this is before I met Tony Robbins, when I was feeling really low and struggling, I'd see her running, like 2 or 3 years old, running down, like just no control of her body all over the shop. And I would just start running like her. And honestly, it just opened up so much of a change of physiology, right? It just brought up the childlike behavior in me. And then all this adult world and all this motherhood didn't seem so hard anymore, because there's a part of me that was just 3 again. And I used to do it out in public too, not so much now because she's 5. She'd probably be like, oh my gosh, Mum, so embarrassing. But at 3, it was the most normal thing ever, because that's what she grew up with me doing. And here, when I'm having a hard time, I'll just watch the kids and I'll mimic their behavior. And then you can see on stage, sometimes I'm quite childlike in the way that I move my body, because I've practiced it. I haven't practiced it like I used to train or practice my swimming, which was very structured and streamline, but just find creative ways to practice it. So that's pretty cool. Think about what you did as a kid and use your kids if you've got them, and watch and study them and their movements and what makes you laugh and what looks really childlike and perhaps that you can share from stage. Okay, so from fear to freedom, the only reason you're not doing this, one, you don't know your message or you're not clear about it, or two, because you're scared of worry and judgment. So in the mastermind, we go through the fear neutralization process, which a lot of you have had a little bit of interaction with. But yeah, basically you won't, if you're scared, you won't do it. We need to neutralize the charge. The other reason you won't do it is because you're infatuated with somebody in the audience. There's someone sitting in the audience or the audience of your mind that knows more about the topic than you and might criticize you. So we've got to neutralize that and get them out of your mind because of that person or that belief around that person, and you've put them on a pedestal. That woman that really needs you is missing out. So there's stuff that we can do together. You just go in there. Why haven't you shared yet? Usually, I remember this because when Francesca and Natasha asked me to speak, it was a room, nearly 60 people, of really successful entrepreneurs, business coaches, speakers, and they get little old me to get up there. So I had to overcome this. I'm like, there's some of the most expert people in the industry here, and part of me felt bad that I got chosen, that I had the spot that so many of them wanted. So I felt guilty. I had to overcome that. Then the next thing, once I overcome the guilt that I was chosen, was the feeling that, well, they know, they've been in the industry longer than me. They know more about this than me. And I had to let go of all of that. And if I was feeling that, we're all human. I know that there's something in there within you that's probably thinking and feeling that as well. And then the other thing is, for the parents amongst us, how often do we tell our kids, will you please be quiet? Can you just shut up for a second? Can you please be quiet? Just stop. Stop. I need a peace of mind, because kids like, and I noticed how much I was doing it. Just stop. Can you please be quiet? Stop crying. Esme would cry, and I was like, it's such a fake cry. I'm like, so can you stop? Stop crying, please. So as a child, a lot of adults around us told us to be quiet all the time, particularly in our generation, not so much for our kids because of the conscious parenting and all the thing, but in my parents' age group, kids were seen and not heard. And it's not all of a sudden you grow up with this belief system, then all of a sudden you wake up and go, oh, I remember this. When I first started in the corporate world, my parents taught me the belief system, it was very strong, was you don't speak back to a grown-up ever. And that served me being a kid because I was very polite, I was very well-mannered. But then all of a sudden I'm in a corporate environment. I had a boss who was an absolute a-hole. He was a man and he was older. So the thing through my, and pretty much was emotionally abusing me. But the belief in my head was like, I don't speak back to an adult. And I remember catching that thought and being like, when can that change for me? Because I need to set some boundaries and stand up for myself here. But a lot of us never have that awareness. So I set some boundaries after I had a full anxiety attack in his office when he was emotionally attacking me one day. I completely blacked out and I was ringing in my ears and passed out, like full anxiety in the corporate world. And so as a child, it served me, and we're teaching our kids things, but there's got to come a day where you've got to recognize and then change that belief system. So if you were told to be quiet a lot as a child, or you had a really overbearing mother or father, there's a really deep-seated belief system in you right now that you're not valid and you don't need to be heard, and it's actually unsafe to be heard, because many of us would have been, not so much these days, but smacked if we spoke out of line. God forbid if you smack your kids these days. Ross nearly copped it the other day. I tell you, I was at my tether and I was like, Rah! But anyway, yeah, you were told to be quiet and it wasn't safe to speak up. So now we're talking about speaking up within your communities or on stage, and there's a very deep running pattern that it's not safe. And then if we go into lifetimes and lineages, for me, my belief system is we're a soul and I've had other lives, and a lot of us are coming back together. Probably put me in jail for telling me this. I don't know if I should say it on Facebook Live, but I believe we're all souls and we're all coming back together. And in past lives, when I've healed people with nature or helped you recognize your own power and reminded individuals of their power and taken them out of fear and just put them into power, the leaders to be don't like that, because you can't be controlled. When you're not in fear, you will set clear boundaries, you'll speak up for yourself. So for me, in many lifetimes, I've been persecuted for speaking up, for being the person to lead the people to their freedom. So for me, I used to have a lot of blockages, energy blockages around here because I'd been hung, I'd been lots of things. Sounds kind of crazy, but look into it, past lives, very powerful. Yeah, so I had to overcome that, and there was months on end there that I'd had a tickle in my throat and a cough, and I'm trying to present on health back when I was doing the health thing, healthy as, and someone came up to me once, I had tourmaline around my neck, and they said, you need to remove that and put on rose quartz, because that cough you've got, it's not your immune system, it's a self-worth issue that hasn't been healed. And as I went through the energy work for that, I realized it had never been safe for me because I'd been persecuted so many times, and I was really starting to come into my power and really guide people and stand out and shine my light. But there was a deep energetic link to having been persecuted for that in past lives. So I'll just mention that in case it comes up for any of you. I can see lots of nods, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking to the right people. We're nearly done. This is just if you're interested in speaking or anything reeling, go through the fear neutralization process. It's absolutely going to change your life. We touched on it last week and the week before because I just think it's something that's so relevant. And from the day that I've learned it, I've done it every other day when stuff just keeps coming up. So it's been life-changing for me, and I just want to keep sharing it because it makes a big difference. Obviously, educate yourself, guys. Educate yourself on yourself. Dissect everything. Keep reading books. Bloody write one if you got a message, because you'll start by speaking, and then you'll want it in something tangible that you can hand people and give to people. You all know that I've started the monthly mastermind, which is a dream come true to me. I still can't use the back office or the computer, but I'm learning. Apparently it's all codes and shit. No one told me that when I had to start up. I'm like, can I just pay someone to do this for me, please? Anyway, many meltdowns on that. So I can deliver the content. I can consume the content. I can collate the content. But when it comes to the back end stuff, I'm like, if anyone's good at that, please let me know. And then share yours. It is your duty to get out there and speak to that woman or that man you were 5 or 10 years ago and offer something that can just add a little bit of peace and love and light into their life. And we simplify it down to that. Any of you could go out at any moment and share something that has helped you when you were back then. Speak to that woman, speak to that man, and don't make it about yourself now, because that person, if that person hadn't said it to you, then you wouldn't be where you are today now. So you really owe it back to the universe to go back there and help someone. So I want you all to do that. Nearly there. I always say at the end of my meetups while we're doing on this line, hold this vision for me and for yourself. This is mine. I want you to have yours, to get back out there in front of the people. This is obviously before I'd really found myself, and I thought I was Tony Robbins, right? Up here. I just got back from my first UPW. That was one of my first event that I ever held, which is crazy. This is one of the first retreats I ever held, and obviously it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger. If I couldn't speak, if I wasn't looking at what I was always doing, this just wouldn't be possible. So hold the vision for me and for us. Hold your vision, share your vision with us. If you've got a board like this, you want to go ahead and put it on the page or put it on your page and get people to put love hearts and all the energy things in there. This is my little family. You all know Ross and Esme, my beautiful husband Gus. We're going through a pretty tough time at the moment, but I just keep showing up because I feel like the more I help everybody else, the more I'm helping myself. This gives me a really solid purpose. I love to share really raw and authentic what's going on for me, because I know it's going on for a lot of you behind the scenes as well. And I just feel like if I can get out there and share what's working for me, the good days, the bad days, and everything in between, it's just going to be really valuable. Me and Tony having a moment, always got to put that up there. Me and my sister just running sold out events. Yeah, just hold that vision, and please make sure that you've got your own and hold other women's vision. Now, if you're interested in the mastermind, I know a lot of you are already in it and the content is coming out and just drip fed every month. Please know that it all looks really simple and amazing and awesome, but it's been such a growth process for me, learning how to use the computer, learning how to, do documents and string it all together and deliver it in a way that's easy to understand. But guess what? The good news is if I can do it, any of you can do it. So if you're holding that there as a vision for yourself, jump into mine. It's only $80 a month. Watch how I do stuff. Obviously learn the content, but I know a handful of you are in there just watching how it's run and how we're doing it, so you can go off and create your own. And I'm a big advocate for that. Like, take what I do, don't copy it completely, make it your own, and then share it. So currently, $80 a month. Forgot to delete that, so you guys all get it for $50. If you sign up in the next 24 hours, you'll get $50, and emergency workers and frontline staff, PM me and I'll talk to you about a special deal for you. And we're nearly there. Always on event days, I have a special for my ring and my necklace. And guess what else is out? Sammy, you don't know this yet, earrings. So they should be here in probably 10 days. Lucia won a pair at the meetup, so I'll send yours out first. But yeah, if anybody wants a ring and a necklace, and I'll add a pair of earrings to this, PM me and I'll make sure you can get those. And as always, you've got to make a choice right now to make a change in your life. And it's not just about you, it's about how many people you can impact. Implement something immediately after this call that you've learned today, whether it's posting on the page, whether it's reaching out to someone, whether it's getting on and doing a 2, 5, 10-minute live, speaking to that woman. You've got to do it straight away. If you walk away, you get busy, you take your bloody makeup off and it won't happen. You just go back into the habit. We've got to break the habit. So it's the small things. Everyone says to me, so many people come to me and go, I want to know how you did this and this and this, and how did you learn to speak, and how you write a book, and all the other things that I forget I've even done. And honestly, guys, I promise you, it's no one big thing in particular. It's the small things that I commit to every single day. Now that might be, so I go for a walk most days, right? And then some days I wake up and I was like, oh, I just can't manage it. Today I had a massage instead. So the commitment is not necessarily to the exercise. The commitment is to half an hour or an hour for my own personal space and development. So you've got to pick a couple of things that are non-negotiable that you've got to do for yourself so you can be full to serve more people. So you can be healthy and strong to stand on stage. You would have all noticed that my body changed a lot in the last 6 months because I was getting up on stage, I was getting invited to more places, and I looked good enough. I was pretty lean and pretty healthy, but I thought to myself, what's going to make me extraordinary is because most people won't do it. Exercise, I was already exercising, but what if I got a coach? What if I got the best people in the industry and followed what they were doing and made that my standard and made that my normal? So now I've lost a bit of muscle tone because I've only got 5 kilo weights here, but I'm 40, guys, with 2 kids, and with what's going on in the world, there is no excuses, but I've built up to this. So just remember, it's the small things. For me, it's my health. It's one of my highest values. I feel like I can speak better, I can magnetize, I create more income when I'm healthy. I've got to link it all to my health because it's so valuable to me. So you've got to uncover what yours is, which we do as a part of the mastermind. If you work with Tony Robbins, you'll be really clear about that. And then just infuse it every single day. Constantly question yourself, ask yourself about growth. But even when you're growing, even when it's clunky, even when it's hard, just still love yourself through it. Because what a lot of us growth mindset do, and I can't love myself till I get there. I can't love myself until it's Amazon bestseller next week. Well, that's not going to serve me, is it? I can't love myself until I get the book out. And then you get there and you're happy for a week or 2 or 3, and then the emptiness starts again and you start to crave, oh, what else can I do? And you start looking around, you get busy, you burn out, you start following the shiny object syndrome. When you've got this feeling of self-worth and love inside of you, which is something else I commit to every single day, then your life will flourish, blossom, unfold. And just by doing that, you will help people, because you're leading the way and they'll feel how you feel, because the way you feel is a vibration. So I want that for all of you, and it's so powerful. So welcome to the tribe. If you guys grab your phone, I think most of you on this call anyway, and you guys can't see it, probably have this, but if you scan, grab your phone, get your camera out and scan over that, it'll take you to all our pages. My website, the Successful Soul Seekers page, the Rise and Shine page, which you will want to make sure you're part of, Rise and Shine meetup group. And then my sister's page, which is Soul Junkies, which is a really good page to follow as well. So welcome to our tribe. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all get on there live and share something in the next 24 hours. And thank you for supporting me. Thank you for always showing up. And yeah, it's just one step at a time, and continue to support each other, cheer for each other, and do the things that scare you. So I'll stop that here. I'll see all you girls. Oh, Philip's on. I didn't see you there. Christiana's on. Gita's on. Good to see you all, guys. I'll just stop the recording. Stop share. Stop live stream. That would be good, so I'm not going live. Pulling my computer face.